Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Ba'ishim, Rakat Kwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ishim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off with Amos chapter 8, verse 11 through 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, the famine of the word, where our videos are no longer going to be on the internet, and the men of the Lord are no longer going to be out there on the highways and byways preaching, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. 2/3 of these Israelites who spent this time of liberty to get the truth despised it and casted it behind them and thought that they had another 10 to 20 years to get that bag and get that American dream, and then they could come to the truth. Or they just thought the truth was bullshit to begin with. In that day, when all hell is breaking loose, they're going to be running around like chickens with their heads cut off, looking for this word, but not being able to find it and having to take whatever judgment comes their way. So to you sincere Akim out there, you should be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because very shortly they're going to be gone. And in this video, I'm going to show how this coronavirus could help speed up this famine of the word. Because just like the coronavirus would be the perfect cover to crash the economy and bring in the New World Order and the mandatory implementation of the Mark of the Beast, it would also be the perfect cover to bring about this famine of the word and take our videos off the internet, because they could label it as conspiracy theories and dangerous fake news that's leading people astray. And the first article I'll be going to is on TechCrunch.com, titled, YouTube Warns of Increased Video Removals During COVID-19 Crisis. And we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Whenever these social media platforms talk about removing any type of content, we know that the men of the Lord are at the top of their list. Because by us preaching this word, we're bringing about the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. That's why, as it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, that devil is about to come down in great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. YouTube today warned its creator community that video removals may increase during the COVID-19 pandemic. The company said its systems today rely on a combination of technology followed by human review, but the current health crisis is leading to reduced in-office staffing in certain sites, which means automated systems will be removing some YouTube content without human review. Hey, and how easy would it be to set those algorithms to look for brothers' videos and pages and just take them off? Today, YouTube utilizes machine learning technology to flag potentially harmful content, which is then sent to human moderators for review. But because of the measures YouTube is taking to protect staff, it's planning to rely more on technology than on people in the weeks ahead. We have teams at YouTube as well as partner companies that help us support and protect the YouTube community, from people who respond to user and creator questions to reviewers who evaluate videos for possible policy violations, YouTube explained in its announcement. These teams and companies are staffed by thousands of people dedicated to helping users and creators. As the coronavirus response evolves, we are taking the steps needed to prioritize the well-being of our employees, our extended workforce, and the communities where they live, including reducing in-office staffing in certain sites. YouTube says allowing its technology to remove some content without human review will allow it to work more quickly to take down potential violations and keep the ecosystem protected. However, automated technology is not perfect. Many videos will likely be impacted by this shift away from human moderation, and videos may be removed even though their content wasn't actually against YouTube policy. In those cases, video creators are being asked to appeal the decision, which will allow YouTube's remaining moderators to take a look at the video in question and make a decision. That's pretty much it with this article. But hey, YouTube's got the perfect cover. If they start taking down a lot of brothers' videos and channels, they can say, look, because of this coronavirus outbreak, we couldn't have a lot of people come into the office, so we relied on our AI algorithms, and they just happened to take your videos off. Sorry about that. But as I said earlier, this coronavirus could also be the perfect cover to further bring about the famine of the word, because they could label the truth as fake news and conspiracy theories that need to be taken down. And conveniently, just before the coronavirus outbreak happened in China, there was a drill run that dealt with a global pandemic that happened to be a coronavirus. And in that drill, they talked about combating fake news on these social media platforms. And I'm going to go to this video on the YouTube page, Spiroscorus, titled Coronavirus Censorship Promoted in Pandemic Exercise is Now Happening. And it came out on February 1st. Again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Hi everyone, I'm Spiro, back with another update concerning the coronavirus outbreak. In my recent report, we took an inside look at Event 201, which was a pandemic exercise that simulated a coronavirus outbreak which killed 65 million people. The simulation took place shortly before the actual coronavirus outbreak had occurred. Now, in this report, I covered how Section 4 of the simulation was perhaps the most shocking, as the participants of the exercise, which included representatives from the United Nations, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the media, vaccine manufacturers, major banks, and the Chinese and American CDC, just to name a few, discussed how it was critically important to control news and information, especially on social media. Now, one of the members, who works for the Monetary Authority of Singapore, even suggested it's time for governments to jail those who post fake news.
But one thing we haven't spoken about, and I'm wondering whether it's time to talk about this, is a step up from the part of the governments on enforcement actions against fake news, right? Some of us, these are new regulations that come in place about how we deal with fake news. And maybe this is a time for us to showcase some cases where we are able to bring forward some bad actors and leave it before the courts to decide whether they have actually spread some fake news.
Now, what is fake news?
Revelation 2 verse 10, and they shall cast some of you into prison.
And who decides what the facts are? And who fact checks the fact checkers? Now, another member of the simulation panel, who is the Global Chief Operating Officer of Edelman, suggested that social media companies themselves need to be the arbiters of truth.
We're at a moment where the social media platforms have to step forward and recognize the moment to assert that they're a technology platform and not a broadcaster is over. They, in fact, have to be a participant in broadcasting accurate information and partnering with the scientific and health communities to counterweight, if not flood the zone of accurate information, because to try to put the genie back in the bottle of the misinformation and disinformation is nigh impossible.
The Event 201 panel also agreed that there needed to be a centralized source of information, which would disseminate the official story, in essence becoming the Ministry of Truth. Now, the panel decided...
Real quick, what do you see on every video dealing with the coronavirus? Coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Get the latest information from the CDC, government organization, about COVID-19. Controlling the narrative.
That the World Health Organization would be most suitable for this task. Now, Event 201 even created fake news reports as part of their exercise, talking about how fake news threatened governments and how social media companies were removing content and how some governments were even shutting down the internet entirely.
Some platforms removing content. YouTube warns of increased video removals during COVID-19 crisis.
Countries are reacting in different ways as to how best to manage the overwhelming amounts of dis and misinformation circulating over the internet. In some cases, limited internet shutdowns are being implemented to quell panic.
Now, just as the simulation itself seems
Famine of
to
the word.
really predict the coronavirus outbreak, we're beginning to see other scenarios in the simulation come to fruition, such as travel bans, a negative impact on the economy, as well as censorship, as Facebook, Twitter, and Google, which owns YouTube, have all vowed to stop, quote, misinformation. Let's take a quick moment to compare some news reports. Let's start with one from the simulation.
A
Alarming news emerging from social media companies today about the CAPS pandemic. Twitter and Facebook are reporting they've identified and deleted a disturbing number of accounts dedicated to spreading disinformation about the outbreak.
And now let's hear one from the real world.
As we continue to monitor the deadly coronavirus outbreak, social media accounts are also spreading misinformation about the deadly virus.
As Axios reports, tech platforms including Facebook, Twitter, and Google are now racing to contain false information, much of which violates their content policies.
Do we really want social media companies deciding for us what is and what is not misinformation? Can't we, the people, discern truth from non-truth for ourselves? Shouldn't we have that choice? I see this as nothing more than a move to censor and control the narrative as part of the information war. Just last night, Zero Hedge had their Twitter account permanently banned from the social media platform. Many speculate that this was due to Zero Hedge's coverage of the coronavirus outbreak, which often countered the mainstream narrative. Now, just before Zero Hedge was banned, they published a controversial article suggesting that the coronavirus contained HIV insertions, implying that the virus was man-made or had been altered in some way, stoking fears that the virus was actually a bioweapon. Shortly after Zero Hedge was banned, they published an article disclosing why they believe that they were banned from Twitter. A writer from BuzzFeed filed a complaint with Twitter against Zero Hedge and wrote an article claiming that Zero Hedge had doxed a Chinese scientist and falsely accused him of creating the coronavirus as a bioweapon. So, according to Zero Hedge, they were banned for what Twitter deemed as harassment for publishing the scientist's name and contact information, despite the fact that the scientist's information was already publicly available. I encourage everyone on Twitter to...
That's it with that video. But hey, as Joachim can clearly see, things are getting more serious out here. It's only going to get worse from here on out. So now it's more important than ever to be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because they're not going to be around for too much longer. And as for you 2/3, you're about to learn the hard way that it's not a game out here. With the way things are speeding up, it's about to be life or death on these streets, whether by the coronavirus or one of the other multitude of horrors that the Most High is about to drop onto you. There's going to be no more Jakes making rap videos about the coronavirus or Israelite women on YouTube telling other women to use the coronavirus scare to get money and goods out of men by making themselves look helpless. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala. Till next time, Shalom.